Good evening, everyone. Zabora here. So today I'm going to be making an uncrossing bath. Now this recipe is kind of flexible. You can use whatever you want. I'm just going to be showing you one of my recipes. So if you guys remember from our our bath video, the 3 basic things that you use in a bath setup would be a mineral, which I've got here. I've got my natron. A liquid, which I've got here. This is a Van alcohol-based recipe. And then I've got my herbs. I've got mint and I've got angelica root. I thought I had patchouli. I was going to throw some in there, but I didn't have it. So, hey, I'm adaptive. I can work without patchouli. I got other things. I have said this before. Cascarilla powder is like a great addition for uncrossing type workings, protection type workings, but it also symbolizes life and fertility, so if you guys want to throw some in there, totally fine. I usually don't when it comes to my bath recipes. I usually reserve that specifically for powder recipes, but hey, you do you, babe. So, I've got my natron here. Now, because we're doing an uncrossing, I know it's backwards for you, and I'm sorry, but we're going to be moving this counterclockwise as we grind, because we are taking stuff off of us. Now, this is not a bath if you feel like just depressed in general, or you've been exposed to natural forms of negativity like a disaster. This is going to be a recipe that if you actually feel like someone has cursed you, okay? So we're grinding down the natron, and into this I'm going to add the angelica. Same motions, same counterclockwise motions. We want to keep all of that similar, okay, guys? I'm just making a tiny, tiny, tiny little one today. You guys can totally make big batches of this stuff and store them in big jars and whatnot, but I'm just going to make a little one here. Alright, that looks pretty good to me, actually. So now I'm going to add the liquid. Now the liquid, if you guys don't want to use Van, you guys can use vinegar, actually, and it works pretty effectively, especially depending on what type of curse you're trying to lift. If you feel someone's attacking your love life, use apple cider vinegar. If you feel someone's attacking your financial situation, then you can use rice wine vinegar. But I'm just going to be doing a general kind of uncrossing thing. So I'm just going to add, you know what, I'm going to use the cap just because I don't trust myself when it comes to pouring liquids. So I've got tiny, tiny little bit. I'm not even going to use all of it. Just a couple of drops, just maybe 3, because I like the number 3. So we got 1, 2, 3. There we go. And I made a little triangle pattern in my dish here. But now because this is a bath, we're not trying to make this like a liquid form like this. So we are going to have this dry out a little bit. Before we use it, or we could use it right away. It don't really matter. I just like to let it dry out a little bit because that allows the scents to marry. And I think I've said that a million times on my pet making video. And I'm using the same motions. I'm not going clockwise at all. We're keeping our stuff kind of in the same realm of movement. Okay. Now, when it comes to the container, this is something I've learned from Lady Gravedancer. So got my sage lit. We're smoking our container, our vessel here that we're going to use to purify our jar before we throw our magical stuff into it. Oh shit. tap that bitch out. Tap, tap. Tap, 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 motherfucker. Oh, it's still burning. Be very careful with your sage. Blow on it. See if any of it's still lit. Mine still is, so. You don't want to just put this down, the bitch is still burning, you know? Some people say don't do that. Fuck them, I don't care what you say. I've never had a complaint. This has always worked for me. Okay, so now that we've got our ingredients here, I'm going to be putting them in our jar. You can, of course, make a strong tea out of the herbal mix and throw that in with the natron as you make your bath. Totally up to you. Me personally, I'm just going to take this whole thing as is and throw it into the bath. And I don't mean like a sitting down soaking type bath. I mean like a tub that I actually have. I actually have a tote that's about the size of my altar table, and about, I can't even show you, it's pretty deep, it's like 2 feet deep, and about 3 feet wide. I just set that in my tub, and I actually use that to perform the ritualistic bathings. So, I've got my stuff, but we're not going to go over that here. I made a video on that if you want to go watch it. Okay, here we have our bath mix. Now, in Hoodoo, when people are performing their ritualistic baths, they like to recite certain chants, certain psalms, whatever, okay? So, I've actually got one here from Sharon, celebrating the Egyptian gods from Sharon the Board. And it's actually for a prayer and a hymn to Serket. And this is adapted from her titles found in the coffin text and the pyramid text. Now, Serket is a goddess of healing as well as protection, especially through the magical means. She's very good at reversing things, so that's why I chose this hymn. So, the hymn is, Hail, O Serket, O noble lady, Serket Heti, giver of breath, come unto me, O lady of heaven, drive out every evil that is in my body. With your fire in your mouth and your flame before you, you set your spells against all those who wish me ill. Mistress of your mansion among the undying stars. Mistress of the cavern who protects the bark of Ra. So that would be the chant that would be said as the ritualistic bathing would be going on. It's saying, hey, you know, I'm cleansing myself of all this negativity. I'm reflecting it back upon those who wish me harm, because that's what she's good at, okay? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this little recipe. I'm gonna go get clean now. No, I'm just kidding. No one's cursed me, and if they have, well, nothing's happened yet. So that's it for tonight, guys. Sanate.